RCMP officers cleared of misconduct in Colten Boushie investigation. The family of a Saskatchewan man who was shot and killed by a local landowner in 2016 plans to appeal an internal investigation by the RCMP that cleared officers of wrongdoing in how they interacted with them in the wake of his death. Colten Boushie, 22, was shot and killed in August 2016 on a rural property near Biggar, Sask. His death ignited racial tensions across the province, and landowner Gerald Stanley, who has pleaded not guilty to second-degree murder, goes on trial in February. But when officers went to Red Pheasant First Nation to inform his mother and siblings of his death, they surrounded and searched the family's trailer. The family, which filed 5 complaints to the RCMP, said they were treated as if they were under suspicion. They just approached it like the family were the culprits of something, like they did something wrong, said Alvin Baptiste, Boushie's uncle. They did nothing, they were just innocent people. In an October 19 letter to the family, RCMP Supt. Mike Gibbs apologized for the officers' actions, conceding they could have been perceived as insensitive. But, he went on, given the safety risks involved, the approach the RCMP had to take was tactical in nature, and in this situation was acceptable. Boushie, 22, was killed on a farm near Biggar, Sask. In August 2016. Facebook, the letter said all but one of the family's complaints had been dismissed. One officer, who was quoted in the letter, said the situation on August 22, 2016 was unique. Trying to be sensitive with the next of kin notification, but at the same time trying to keep the high-risk situation safe, was an extreme challenge, the officer said. Baptiste said the entire internal investigation was a cover-up, and maintains his sister and her children were mistreated. We don't have no rights here. It's like we don't have no rights at all. Just sweep us under the rug, kick us under the bus, just move on, forget about what happened. That's how they look at it. Just another Indian, he said. The family's lawyer said he plans to appeal to the Civilian Review and Complaints Commission for the RCMP. There would have been other ways for the RCMP to notify Debbie Baptiste of the death of her son, Chris Murphy said. Murphy said the search of Baptiste's home was based on complete speculation that an armed individual was inside. The police didn't have any reliable information, he said. The family also complained about the media release sent out after Boushie's death, which they said made him look like a criminal. The release referred to a theft investigation, though no theft charges were laid. If you are an Indigenous person living in Saskatchewan, how does that make you feel if you will potentially have your home surrounded and stormed while, at the same time, being notified that the person that you raised has been killed? Murphy said. The RCMP did not return calls for comment for this story. Landowner Gerald Stanley has pleaded not guilty to second-degree murder in connection with Boushie's death. Jason Warwick, CBC. The RCMP upheld one complaint, saying, in the letter, it was not appropriate that 2 officers drove at high speed in pursuit of a vehicle leaving the scene in Biggar, while someone they had taken into custody was in the back of their cruiser. The officers told investigators they were in a rush when they got in the vehicle and weren't aware there was a person in the back seat. The letter says those 2 officers received guidance on safe handling of prisoners